Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television GPTV. We got a new unboxing. This one is the latest release from Mezco of the 112 collective figures. This one's a previews exclusive figure of Arsenal. We've been kind of waiting for this to check it out. Now, if you haven't ordered this from your comic book shops or your local hobby shop, this one's going to be a little bit hard to get a hold of, but that's not going to stop us from opening it up. Now, immediately, you can see the huge difference with this. This has been kind of an upgraded figure in that there's this nice tin box, changed from the usual, cardboard boxes with the gatefold opener, the opening that we usually see with most of these figures. On the back, it's printed exactly what you're going to get inside with a nice little image. Kind of fascinating to see if this is going to be the regular box we're going to see from now on with this series. So I'm, kind of looking forward to it. I think this is a beautiful presentation for the figure, and I'm actually pretty impressed with it. Opens up just kind of like a, almost like a lunchbox in some sort of way, and we're presented with the beautiful figure within. So let's go and open up and show off what you get and kind of decide whether or not this is worth a pickup in addition to your collection. As far as extras, we get what looks like just the base and the usual display items in here. There's nothing else hidden underneath that sometimes these have. I can't stress enough how much I actually am impressed with the tin right away. Like, that came and I saw it and I was a little shocked by it. It just feels like a kind of that upgrade in quality and presentation that I think kind of takes figures and stuff like this to that next level. Alright, immediately looking at this figure looks gorgeous in its presentation. Just holding it in my hand, I gotta say right away, my initial reaction is this might be the nicest actual figure they've released to date that I've at least seen. The detail on this is absolutely amazing, unfreaking real. So let's kind of go from the bottom to the top. As far as movement, the feet have some decent movement overall. Not quite the full rotation you see with some other figures, but that's okay because we get the sculpted leg pieces that wraps around the back with straps that kind of just look like, I guess, what, leg braces, I guess they would be called, leg armor. The straps on the back are molded plastic that are on the figure. You can't take this off in any way. Basically it's the fabric goes down to that point, and then it's plastic underneath that. So it's isn't a strap that goes around. This is one piece that goes on. So that may be the one thing I would ding on the figure completely, but if that's it, that's kind of an impressive thing. Alright, let's look at the rest of the detail. Moving up, we get the usual fabric for the legs. There's not much there, though it looks like it goes all the way underneath the jacket. On the side, we get, I'm guessing, batons for him to use, or just pouches for him to put stuff in. Kind of like a slight, faux leather that holds it on. Belt is molded on. This is all one piece. Doesn't look like you can take it off. Or at least if you did, it would be kind of a pain in the butt to do that. So I wouldn't suggest it. One thing that is impressive, though, is the jacket. Looks like it has a zipper that actually will work, that you can unzip a bit, and definitely can. So again, that's like the level of detail that really stands out with figures like this. There is kind of even they're using a small little thing to pull down the zipper. The harness on the back, you can put the bow in, I'm sure of it. Or put the arrows in is probably the better. There we go. So you can put the arrows in the back of his quiver. You don't put the bow in there. Great detail on that. Immediately between the legs, the back, and the arms, which are very similar in their construction to the legs, that the detail on the red is really, really impressive. There's a slight kind of dry brush to it that gives a little bit of depth. It's not just a monochromatic red across. You can see darker here and then a little lighter on the sides, and kind of the cracks around have the darker coloring underneath. Same thing goes to the arm gauntlets and the legs as well. The jacket's monochromatic. When it comes to the red, it actually has a hood that goes over his head that you can pull back. That's kind of cool. A nice small detail that adds to things. As far as movement, the waist has got pretty decent. The arms solid, exactly what I would expect. Doesn't look like it can move forward as much as other figures have without some fighting. Yeah, it just takes a little bit, so this I think might just be stiff on the side. But we get movement at various joints in the arm, and the head has the full range of motion that we'd normally expect. Overall, figure is freaking impressive. This is really, really good. The amount of detail, I have to say, is absolutely amazing. Let's look at the extras that you get. Of course, you got the actual bow that you can put in his hands. Big question is, can you put the arrows in? The arrows do have a slight notch to them. So, if you wanted to, you could fully pose the arsenal holding the bow and arrow and cock the arrows back. And it looks like you could probably get some good distance on them if you want to launch. As far as arrows go, there is an impressive amount of them. We've got the tri-arrow. We've got this one that I couldn't tell you exactly what it's going to be. This one looks like a small rocket on there. We've got one with a grappling hook at the end of it. And then this one just looks like a straight up normal arrow. And the bow, much like him, great dry brushing on it. Really good amount of detail that I'm impressed with. Holds up pretty well, I think. The wire snaps back good. The red has some slight shading to it. The metal itself of the bow has a lot of shading to it. So top notch overall. Hands, we've got 4 sets of hands that we can see, obviously in very different positions. It looks like these two would be used to hold back the bow and arrow. Bottom one, I think, would be the same. And this one would allow you to probably put the bow in his hand. And then underneath here, we've got a knife that you could give him as well. And I don't see a spot to put the knife actually anywhere. Oh, nope, the knife will be right here in the back. So, yep, so we got a knife that can hide in his back underneath where the arrows would be. Overall, really, really impressed with this figure. I want to say this is probably the nicest that I've seen so far from Mezco 112. This has blown me away. It's a previews exclusive, so it means it's not going to be easy to find. My recommendation is, if you are a collector of these figures, go out and do what you can to go get this. Go get it early, because the longer you wait, the longer it's going to be harder to find. You're probably going to have to hit up comic book shops. You're probably going to have to hit up specialty shops to try to get these, maybe if you got some luck online. We're going to do our best to find this for you, include some links underneath this video to make your life a little bit easier for ordering. But overall, recommendation, this is impressive. This is a really, really impressive quality figure, top notch. Probably, I think, the best that they've put out that I've seen. So, way to go. That's about all I gotta say. I mean, if you're interested in more Mezco 112, you should check us out. We've got tons of videos, unboxings so far. You can check out our Instagram. We're gonna do a lot of photos there of the various figures. And of course, if you're into DC Comics, Mezco 112, Arsenal, comic books in general, you should check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. Of course, we're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. As always, thanks so much for watching. Until next time, keep playing with those toys and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games. you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.